Yesterday I did a video about the Adidas Ultra Boost Lego set that's coming out, or some parts of the set has come out, or bits are coming out and some are not, and blah 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 blah. And that made me think about, I was struggling for content, trying to find out which shoes I wanted to go for, looking for upcoming releases, and I was thinking like, there's nothing great on the horizon, but I do this daily content every single day from Tokyo, Japan about sneakers, and that was the sort of set that I landed on. Didn't really have a drop date and stuff like that. So when I was putting together today's video, I thought, you know what, I'm going to do something a little bit different since there's not that many great shoes on the horizon. Done some of the best shoes already, done some of the great videos of these Dunk Highs, especially the Undercover Basketball Association. I'm so looking forward to those guys coming out next week. So I thought what I'd do is, put together a video for you guys out there that has two sort of layers to it. Layer one is that maybe you don't know about these sites, and these are places that you can now go to, look at them, say, hey, didn't know about that one, going to bookmark that one, that's where I'm going to go to and get some more information. Or part two is that you can go kick it back to me and say, you know what, that's a great top 5 list of places to get sneaker information and websites to go to get your latest news, but you've missed a really important one that you don't know about. And here I recommend this to you. So if you guys have a recommendation based on this list, or if there's something missing from my list that you're thinking, man, how does he not know about that? Or you just appreciate this list and you're like, whoa, there's something for me in there. That's all great reasons for you guys to check out this video and to hit me up with some comments down below about where it is you get your information for about sneakers. So that's where we're going today. We're doing a top 5 countdown in reverse order, starting at 5 and working our way back to number 1 for what is the places, the number 1 places for me to go and get my information about sneakers and upcoming sneaker releases. Quickly, before we start, I'll just give some honourable mentions to places that I can't really go to. Top 5, there's always going to be stuff missing out. The Hype Beast sort of stream of things is one place where I occasionally go to get information about sneakers and stuff like that. And there's a couple of them. It's not just one Hype Beast, there's 2. And there's also a few other places. I'm trying to remember. There's one in particular, and it's like Sneaker Files or something like that I occasionally go to get information. But only one off, every so often, a couple of times a month max. But these 5 places that we're going to look at today, I go to on an almost daily basis. So these are places that you can go to get great information, plus they also have some additional little details in them that make them really worthwhile going to. So in reverse order, the main places I get my sneaker information on the internet are, and we're going to start off with the only Japanese site on the list, because I am here in Tokyo, Japan, and I do need that Japanese content for a few different reasons, and it's called Sneaker Dunk. And there's a big thing here in Japan to miss out the vowels. So instead of it being Sneaker Dunk, they drop the E, the A, and the E off of sneaker because Sneaker Dunk. And you'll be able to see, I think probably up here in the corner, you'll see the icon for the website itself and saying Sneaker Dunk there. And it's really important to my channel. This is super important to my channel because the title of every single video that I put up onto YouTube has English and Japanese in the title, and it's very, very difficult to get accurate information about Japanese names for shoes and stuff like that, because if people are searching for a shoe, you have to have exactly the right name up there in the title, otherwise your video won't pop up. So this is the place that I go to primarily to find out how to write in Japanese, the Japanese names of sneakers, but also it's got 2 really main features that I really dig, that really help me out as a content creator. And one, hopefully it's appearing over here, is that right on the front page they have the top 10 of current sneakers or upcoming sneakers or sneaker stories. That's a great place for me to go for a quick look to test the pulse of what's going on out there in Tokyo, Japan. What are people interested in? What's the main stories coming up? So if I'm looking for a video that I want to do and I go there and I see, oh, you know what, number 2 on that list is this Dunk or that Ultra Boost or this Jordan, then it's a great way for me to know what's a great thing to talk about, what's going to generate interest out there. And the other thing is, I don't know, hopefully I'll be able to have a shot of it, of all the brands listed. They have a link to all the brands listed, starting with Nike and then Adidas, and then if you click on, for example, Nike, it has all of the Nike sort of different wings listed, from Jordan to Dunk to LeBron's, all the way, Air Force Ones. So you can really sort of narrow down the search to a very specific set of shoes, and that's a really helpful way to organize the information and for me to be able to sort of go through it all. They have a very interesting landing page because they have a big chunk of it devoted to Twitter, so anyone that uses their Twitter hashtag, their tweets can appear up there, and especially when big shoes are coming out down the line and people are putting up they've got them, you know, Twitter's on the Sneaker Dunk hashtag. You see a very real-time wall of sneakers on there. So that's my number 5 on the list of places to go and get information about sneakers. Number 4, and this might surprise a lot of people out there that this isn't higher, but there's reasons why it's not higher, and it's Sneaker Bar Detroit. And Sneaker Bar Detroit, in my opinion, is the best sneaker information website out there. It's the most authentic. It's the one that's the least driven by advertising, that's least driven by sort of hype, and it's just pure sneakers, and they're not like overselling it. There don't seem to be any kind of like considerations of the companies or trying to make it sound like it's better than it is. This is the greatest shoe you've ever seen. You know, they just give you the information cold. But I rarely use them because it's quite a difficult website to navigate, and it's hard to find shoes on it. The shoes are all sort of listed in one big long list, and it just goes on forever, and it's really difficult to find the shoes on there. To be honest, I go to this site as my backup. It's my main backup for when I want more information about a shoe. I found a shoe, interested in that shoe that I want to talk about at the channel, but I don't have much information on it from where I found it originally. I'll go to Sneaker Bar Detroit and see if they've got any additional information, especially about drop dates, background to the shoes, that kind of stuff. So Sneaker Bar Detroit, extremely reliable, extremely knowledgeable, and a great place to go for that pure information, but a little bit difficult to navigate. And then in at number 3, I'm going to put in Kicks on Fire, which used to be at number 2 on my list, but has recently been usurped by Soul Supplier. So we'll go with Kicks on Fire at number 3, and we'll get to Soul Supplier at number 2 in a second. So behind me here on the screen, you'll have Kicks on Fire, and just like over at the Sneaker Bar Detroit, they have a great release calendar sort of list of all the sneakers that are coming out. And one of the major important things about Kicks on Fire, which they don't do at my number 1 pick, which we'll get to in a minute, is that they have the entire sneaker calendar all listed there for you, all of the shoes that are coming up, and a lot of the sort of lesser known ones. You know, Sneaker Bar Detroit and Soul Supplier, not so much Soul Supplier, but my number 1 pick, sometimes they're a bit selective about what shoes they have, whereas Kicks on Fire is just like every single thing. And a big detail, which I think is not true of Sneaker Bar Detroit or my number 1 pick, is that it Kicks on Fire is that it's just the entire calendar, whereas a lot of the other sites will separate that out into Adidas, Jordan, and then everything. So it tends to be sneakers, Adidas, and Jordan, but those Yeezy and Jordan, actually I should say, and the Yeezys and Jordans don't appear on that other sneaker list, so it's actually a bit misleading if you're scrolling through an entire list and you think these are the sneakers coming out, but then you actually have to go to another list for the Jordans and then another list again for the Yeezys, and they don't do that at Kicks on Fire. They have them all lined up. But what they do have that's a bit irritating is a lot of pop-ups, especially recently, but all of these sites have a lot of those advertising pop-ups, and they drive me crazy, so that's a sort of downside to all of them. But it's, you know, because they're all equally weak on that, it's kind of, it doesn't reduce one or raise another one up. But Kicks on Fire, really useful for that release calendar, listing every single shoe, not just by brand or you know, by specific sort of areas of interest or something. It's just every single shoe. And quite often when I'm struggling to find a shoe at my number 1 pick, I'll go to the Kicks on Fire release calendar and I'll see a shoe there that isn't listed on my favorite place to go and get sneaker information, and then I'll use that information from Kicks on Fire and go back to my favorite place. And we'll get to that at the end of this video, the special way that you can go and do that and find shoes. There's a special way to search for shoes and find them more easily than just typing in the name of the shoes, and we'll get to that when we get to the number 1 pick. But first, the number 2 pick, and like you'll know this, I've already said it in this video, and I've said it in many videos. Soul Supplier is a UK site that I go to a lot, especially to get early release dates. They're the earliest release dates I've found on the internet, where they give you this guy's coming on, you know, like July July 31st. This one's coming on August 5th, you know, and they have very early release dates, just like Kicks on Fire. They have the entire calendar all listed there, not separated out into Jordan and Yeezy and other sneakers, which is a huge plus to be able to see all of them there. It is UK centric, so it's often not the best place to get your information as far as dates go, because they don't list them with like an EU drop date. It's just to put the drop date, and you have to know that they're in the UK, and therefore their drop dates are Eurocentric rather than Americocentric. And they don't tend to have that much information about the shoes, and that's the key point that separates number one apart from everybody else, is the amount of information there. So Supplier is great to know that the releases that are coming up, a very full release calendar there, but not very much information about the individual shoes. And again, just like Kicks on Fire, if I find a shoe here, I'll take its information and I'll plug it into my number one pick, which is Sneaker News. Sneaker News is where I go to get most of my information about sneakers, and I'll use the other sites to sort of pad that information out. Like if I'm not sure about some information on Sneaker News, I'll jump over to Sneaker Bar Detroit and see what they say about the shoe to see if it matches up. Oftentimes I'll find out something on Sneaker News and I'll be like, I'm not sure about that. It says here it's an SB Dunk Low, but I think it's just a straight up Dunk Low. Go over to Sneaker Bar Detroit and find out exactly what is going on there. But still, Sneaker News is the best place that I've found to get that upcoming sneaker release information. News stories as well. It's not just about upcoming releases, but also the current sort of latest news and the next sort of big things that are coming down the line. Sneaker News is great for that. It does separate Jordan, Yeezy, and sneaker releases without Jordan and Yeezy into three different ones. So you can miss shoes if you're not careful, if you're not paying attention to all three lists, which is a little bit of a challenge. But it is the number one place to get that, and it always has 2 or 3 paragraphs on every single shoe about the shoe and its background, and you know, its construction, its details, materials, that kind of stuff. So it's a really great place to get a comprehensive look at the shoe, which is perfect for my channel, exactly what I'm trying to do for you guys there. So my number one pick is Sneaker News, but collectively all 5 of these places, Sneaker Dunk, Sneaker Bar Detroit, Kicks on Fire, Soul Supplier, and Sneaker News, and all of these will be linked down below in the description. I'll put a link to each one's homepage so you can find them very, very easily. They all work together for me, you know, as a oneer. And the key, I was saying when I was talking about Kicks on Fire, I think it was, the key is knowing what the code for the shoe is. And I don't know if I'll be able to show a picture of a code up here, but usually it's a bunch of numbers and letters like HG4739 -100 or something like that. And if you search for that code rather than searching for the name SB Dunk Low Pro Laser Blue or something like that, rather than searching for the name, if you search for the code, you find it more easily, especially because sometimes when you're searching for the name of a shoe, there's a lot of shoes out there that are similar, or previous versions of the shoe, you know, like 10 years ago's version, a retro version, an inverse version, you know, like a collaboration version, a special edition version. But if you search for that specific item number that is usually listed on all of these sites, then you can find it more easily and more accurately. And that's one of the best things about Sneaker News, is the search function. They have the best search function I've found of all of the websites, and I find it really easy, especially searching for that code, to find the exact shoe that you want to talk about and get that information, and then help to create videos and content for you guys out there. So that's my top 5 places to go to get sneaker news and sneaker information and sneaker content, especially when it comes in terms of upcoming sneaker releases and stuff like that. Like I said, a few things didn't make the grade, like the Hype Beast websites. There's a few of them on there, and there's a couple other places, you know, that I occasionally will drop into, you know, do a Google do a Google search for a shoe and then see what comes up out of that. But basically these 5 are the top 5 places that I go to get all that information, that I cram it all together into one video for you guys out there. And hopefully either these 5 websites, you know, something in there is giving you a place to go to yourself to get more information about shoes, or you're going to look at this and tell me that there's a really important website out there that I haven't heard about and a great place to go and get information. Either way, all good, and hopefully you guys have appreciated this walk through the 5 main places that I go to get my sneaker information. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys are thinking, where it is you go to get your information. Maybe it's me. For now though, it's time to wrap this up and just finish up another video for today, and I'll just do the thing that I do at the end of every single video. That's daily content coming from Tokyo, Japan, every single day. And because it's every single day, that means that you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.